Hi, my name's Robert, but I'm usually called Bob. This is my lovely wife, Diana. And we've been fostering with Blue Sky for some time now. In fact, we were the first carers in Devon area,
No,
actually.
we weren't.
No, we weren't.
No,
No,
we
we
weren't.
weren't the first. We
We're
were
the
the
longest-
surviving ones.
This could be a long morning, afternoon, couldn't it?
When we were considering fostering children from different backgrounds, one of the things that came to my mind was unaccompanied asylum seekers. We had heard lots about these poor unfortunates that were coming to the country. There were none, as far as I was aware, that were in Blue Sky at that time. I said I would be interested in that because the challenge of language, knowing their background, etc., was important. When it came to that we were offered the opportunity of a young man, we had little knowledge of him. Nobody had much knowledge of him, but we decided we ought to research because he was coming from Afghanistan and we knew the troubles in Afghanistan and we knew the troubles he must have suffered. So we researched a little bit more about Afghanistan and their practices, their religion, of course. We prepare ourselves for a vast change and how to deal with it. The first thing I think was so important that we made the right decision to do. We learned a few words of Pashto so that when this lad arrived on our doorstep, brought by taxi from Kent, dropped on our doorstep, we were able to speak to him with a greeting in his own language.
Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum, absolutely. He spoke very little or no English at that time, and the joy, if you like, of helping and gradually getting him speaking with a little more and more English each day. We had a few months before he was able to go to school. A little pointer about how we dealt with him. We felt it was a good thing that he should feel at home. So the first thing we did, on his arrival, we had for him a prayer mat and a Quran. In Pashto, so that he wasn't lost with his faith if he had it. We didn't know.
As it turned out, he is very devout, so it was a good thing that we had got it ready for him. I think it did really make a difference to him.
He took that book and he kissed it. As soon as I gave him it, so we knew it was the right thing to do.
And obviously we researched about food and diet.
You take it off the tip of my tongue. I was going to say
he loves his cooking. He loves his food. So he'd actually gone out and researched Afghan dishes,
food and dishes,
and he was able to cook some authentic meals, and that went down very well.
Yeah, just for a few days.
Yeah.
I still do them occasionally, but they're certainly well accustomed to English food.
He also cooks food for us in the Afghan tradition, which is lovely.
Yes, we use a different style, which is a bit more vegetarian perhaps in some ways. So it's good. So we've enjoyed the experience actually.
And we can speak a little bit more.
Should we say?
He's learning a lot of English, and we can speak a little bit more Pashto now.
Yes, we're learning a bit of Pashto. We think that's a good bonding exercise, if you like. We're teaching them English. They're starting to teach us a little bit of Pashto.
Only a few words.
Only a few, yes.
It helps. I think there's a huge misconception around unaccompanied asylum seekers. I think mainly people don't appreciate what the young people have gone through. The experience they've had are horrendous. No person should see the things that they've seen. And to see them as just migrant workers that are coming here for a better life when they are so upset about what they've had to leave behind. They miss their families so much. And the ones that we've had contact with, they would desperately like to be able to go back to their own countries, to the way life was before the bad things happened to them. And I think it's so unfair the way they're being portrayed. And it's really good to be able to see the other side of the story and what they've experienced.
Most of them are coming and leaving terrible situations and having gone through traumatic experiences.
Yes.
And they don't deserve to be treated badly.
They deserve all the support they can get. Well, fortunately, whenever we go, you were asking about the language barrier, but unfortunately, whenever we go abroad, Bob always manages to communicate with people, whatever language it is, with signs. What he just has an ability to do
Pidgin,
this.
French, Spanish,
A combination
bit
of all
English,
of them, and
a bit
somehow
of
we
German.
get through.
I'll throw in all sorts of languages to get my point over, and so it wasn't that difficult to make a start. And once you've made a start, I went to the, I think, almost baby books. A for apple, B for banana, C for cat, and so on. We went through the book time and time again, and then we went through the room. We sat down here and we pointed a picture, sofa, armchair, everything. We talked about it, and then I said, "Now you tell me, what's that?" And they gradually
It's
it
amazing
built.
how quickly they learned. It really was.
But the point is, they were so wanting to be educated. They did so want to learn. They do so want to learn English. They want to progress. They just want to learn. And one of the amusing things is that they don't like holidays. Oh no, not another day off.
The first children I've ever met that objected to having a summer holiday. Why can't we keep going to school? Which is
Why 6 weeks?
it's terrible.
They can't believe it. 6 weeks. They can't go to school or
But
college.
we kept learning at home, and they got through
We
quite
do
a lot.
it at home. Yes.
English and maths.
English and maths at home. Yes. Reading and writing.
Yes.
Yes. That's the regular things that we do. Yeah. One of the things with our two young men was that was the religion. I thought it was important to establish connection with the mosque, and the nearest one is in Exeter. So I made contact there and explained that we have this young man from Afghanistan who spoke little or no English, but he was Pashto speaking. That's quite important because there are different languages in Afghanistan. Pashto is only one of them, and for him to be able to communicate, he needed to speak to someone at the mosque that was Pashto, that spoke Pashto. And they said, "Oh, no problem at all, bring him along." So he said, "Come along before the service on Friday," which is their main service. And so I took him. We were made most welcome, and the young man was taken off to show him around. I was taken off by the director of the mosque to show him show the building and how they did things. And then I said, "Could I stay for the service?" "Of course you can." And he said, "In the back," I gave me a nice seat in the back of the hall, so I could stay through the service with them, and obviously take them home afterwards. And then while we were there, he said, "If you like, we have a class for newly arrived people from overseas, where we try to teach them basic English." "Great," I said. "Yes, I'll bring them to that." So I took them to the mosque every week. It was very basic English, but we got into all sorts of games. And all of a sudden, I got caught up with this, and I joined in with them, and we played Ring-a-Ring-Around the Roses and all sorts of funny games.
I heard that you made your own suggestions.
Oh yes, I made some.
What was it you had them playing? Head, shoulders, knees and toes?
Head, shoulders, knees. Because it's language. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. So that was but it was music. It was great fun to see.
And what was the other one?
Hokey cokey. Put your right arm in, your right arm out, in, out, in, out. It's all language, which they were repeating, and they were having hysterics with fun, with laughing and doing all these silly things. So it's quite a successful sort of
more understanding
session.
I think. The more understanding with different religions, the better.
Because all these young men, they were all from different countries. They didn't all speak Pashto. The one common thing was their need to learn English.
And their religion.
And their religion, because they were all obviously followed Islam. But it was a common denominator, learning English, and anything however silly it might appear at the time, it was getting over words.
Well, when he came back, he seemed to have thoroughly enjoyed himself. So
Oh yes,
that was
we had a lot of fun doing that.
That's great.
Yeah. They've also introduced me, or reintroduced me, to cricket, because I soon learned that the thing that they both loved most of all from their home country was cricket. And I was able to find them a local good club to play cricket, and they were outstanding. I was able to join them and follow my earlier interest in cricket. So I spent all last summer at cricket. And one of the young men is now playing for Devon under 18 cricket team. That's only after one season in English cricket, with his ambition to play for England at cricket. So that has been one of my highlights, I think.
awesome.
Wonderful.
It has to be more than 3 words. I could go on for hours about them. They're amazing. They've endured so much, and they're so lovely. They are polite. They're well behaved. They want to please. They want to build themselves lives here. They are still very concerned about their own families and what's happening at home. They keep up to date with the news, and it's upsetting for us sometimes that they are so up to date and they hear about still the terrible things that are happening at home. But they cope with that very well, and they manage to go on with their schoolwork here. They're working really hard to learn English, learn the subjects that they can. I think they're incredible.
And I mentioned the word respect before. They show us respect as we show them respect. And they've become basically a part of the family. They're here for the long stay as far as fostering is concerned, as far as we're concerned,
Yes,
anyway.
they definitely are part of the family.
Yeah.
Definitely.